Okay. Hey guys, my name is Daphnie Rivera, and I guess this is my RIP research presentation. I'm sorry, I'm sick, so excuse my sniffles in the background. So, first, I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what my project will be about. Of course, the purpose of my project is to persuade my particular audience about our theme, Carpe Diem, through my rhetorical artifact, which will be a film review. And pretty much my film review was just going to persuade my audience to seize the day by following their dreams and how money isn't everything. And I'll explain this in more detail later on. So, like I said, the genre I chose was a film review, and the film I chose to do it on is the latest movie, The Greatest Showman. And just a heads up, I really love this movie, which I will persuade you of its greatness in my project. Anyways, I plan on using the rhetoric of Carpe Diem not just to persuade my audience to seize the day, but also why and what makes the movie truly great. And the format of my film review is going to be similar to the ones we read in this course, so like Mansour and Detmar. So the generic conventions of film reviews varies depending on the medium. First and foremost, film reviews typically either urge you to watch or not watch a movie. And generally speaking, film reviews will include things like the title of the film, the release date, the genre of the film, and of course, the directors, producers, actors, actresses. And most of the time, you'd find a brief summary, a synopsis, or like a short tagline about the plot of the story. And if the movie happens to be based on a true story, such as The Greatest Showman, you typically find a background story on that true story, if that makes sense. And of course, throughout film reviews, you'd find character references, quotes, pictures, clips of scenes. And oftentimes, some film reviews provide a type of rating out of 5 stars, for instance. And yeah. So, like I said, the conventions of film reviews depends on the medium. And so, for my medium, I sort of narrowed it down to 2 options. I haven't really decided yet. Uh, the first option is to do the typical online newspaper film review article, like Mansour and Detmar. And if I choose to go this route, the news article that my review would be published on would be The Guardian. And I chose this because their audience consists of affluent, young, urban consumers with various interests. And then my second option would be to do a YouTube film review. So in that case, my audience would be YouTube subscribers and viewers. And YouTube, the age range is usually from 10 to like 65 and up, but more often it's primarily the younger generation between like 13 to like 40 or so. And with YouTube, the audience sort of varies depending on your subscribers and the content of your video itself. So, like, beauty gurus are more geared towards women, while, like, video gaming is more towards the male audience. And yeah. And so, I guess I'll show you an example. So, you already know what a typical online um, newspaper film review type would look like, generic format and whatnot. And then this is sort of what a YouTube film review would look like.
Hello, I'm DM Merle.
And I am Roth Cornett. DM.
DM,
How are you
like P.T.
doing?
Barnum,
Like P.T.
DM
Barnum.
Merle,
I
yes.
like it. P.T. Barnum, the greatest showman. Everything razzle dazzle put together for an extraordinary musical. Hugh Jackman in the lead. And
Yes.
yeah, what'd you think?
This was Hugh Jackman's passion project. He's been trying to.
And yeah, so that's pretty much like how film reviews sort of run in YouTube. And believe it or not, film reviews compete with reviews and opinions that are spread through words of mouth. So like movie buzz sort of like spreads a lot faster than professional movie critics. Not a lot of people are actively looking at film reviews, especially the younger generations, which is who my targeted audience is. And people tend to hear more about movies faster through friends and family who might have watched it, which is why I'm leaning more towards option to the YouTube film review because YouTube again is getting popularity with younger demographics, especially now with today's growing use and need for technology. YouTube has definitely gained a lot of users, but I'm not completely sure on how I would execute that, but we'll see. Anyways, the message of my project is to mainly explain and add on to the message of the film, which is to follow your dreams and not be afraid to take risks. And I'd use this to persuade my audience the importance of seizing opportunities and that in the end, money isn't everything. Instead, we should be focused on pursuing our passions and giving back to the community. And this is pretty much similar to Steve Jobs' commencement speech, where he urged the graduating students to go after their dreams and do what they love. So, as the rhetor, the tone and choice of diction is going to be a bit more laid back in a sense. It's going to be informal and sincere, yet persuasive. And in order to establish my credibility, I would have to back up any claims I make with evidence. And in order to sort of include myself into the project, I will probably include some personal experiences, anecdotes with or related to the film, similar to what Manzoor and Detmar did. And of course, citing any source if I mention something. And finally, show, don't tell. And what I mean by that is to include pictures if I go the online newspaper route, or clips of different scenes of the film if I go the YouTube route. And yeah, that's pretty much sums up my idea for my RIP project. And I guess this concludes my presentation. Feel free to comment down below any advice you might have, or, help me decide on which option to go with. And yeah, thank you.